Welcome back to the National Stadium in Karachi, where we are coming back from a lunch break. It is the start of the middle session on day 4, Pakistan against South Africa, and this test match has been very much about Pakistan. They really have played superbly. Let's just have a look at the batting card for Pakistan right now. So it was a little bit of a session for them. They had to get through that. 7 overs it was, 22 for no loss, with no real dramas. Thick outside edge or 2 down to the third man, but that was fine. There was no dramas there. So 10 and 12 respectively, and plenty of batting to come for Pakistan, which is going to be a bit of a dampener for the South Africans. 66 runs to win. That's what Pakistan require. Here's a look at some highlights. And this is the work that was done by Pakistan. That was the very first ball of the day. Really good work from Arslan Ash. Always clean to the top. Getting caught up bowling of Yasir Shah. He was in the game a lot. Kemba Verma came out in the middle, and I thought he played really nicely. Some nice strokes, a couple of good positive drives. Got a couple down the leg side that he also got an opportunity to put away. That was a big, thick inside edge. Leg slip came into play. We saw George Linder go. Now, this was interesting. This was Rabada getting dropped by Hassan Ali, but they didn't take one. This is the next ball, and he got castled comprehensively. And this was the debutant, his first of many wickets, actually. Norman to excite the Pakistan players. That was just a chip. Nokia. And that was Bavuma, who I thought played pretty well for his 40. It was sent upstairs, but 5 wickets on debut for Norman. So really good work from him. He can be well pleased. That was one of those edges that I was talking about, the thick outside edge. And a couple of loose balls from Maharaj. A bruise from Rabada, which might have needed a bit of attention perhaps at the long lunch break. It was sent upstairs for some reason. And a beautiful drive down the ground to finish the session. Lunch was called. Pakistan walked off sitting pretty. 3 bowlers used by South Africa, and not too much influence from either of them at this stage, although Rabada was also always a threat when he's got the ball in his hand. Ramiz Rajas alongside me. Rambo, as we have a look at the match summary, gee, Pakistan have done a very nice job in this test.
It was an important test match for them after being sort of roughed up in New Zealand. Didn't have a great time of it, and so coming here and facing up the South African challenge wasn't an easy gig. But they've really managed things very intelligently, played the crunch moments cleverly, bowled well, batted superbly in the first innings. I think that was a clincher. When they were 30-odd for 4, to get to 378 was a big deal. Good time to get a not out under your belt. Pakistan would dearly want their openers to get some runs and get some confidence. It's a tough pitch to last the distance, so all they've got to do is to work out a method, a way where you think it's a good pitch, where you are more on the front foot and not worry about the awkward bounce, and look to be out there for the next 66 runs.
Yeah, I think that's dead right, actually. You've got to be more concerned about the ball keeping low on this surface at this stage of the test match. And also, let me say that I think the pitch has been pretty good. I really do think it's been pretty good. A test match pitch is supposed to introduce other attributes of a game. The spinners have had a fine time. The seamers also, a little bit of variable bounce maybe from the seamers. But then again, that also is allowed to happen. So I don't have any problem with the pitch at all. I don't think the players will be saying anything negative about the surface. It was very barren on day 1. It scarred quite early, so we knew the spinners were going to play a role. South Africa, of course, remember, we're going to play 3 spinners, but Shamsi pulled up with a bad back just before the toss. He won the toss, elected to bat. Losing the last 8 wickets, 112 in the first innings didn't help them. Nokia it is. Chopped it on. Outside the line of off stump. That is a thick inside edge. It's deviated quite a lot, and a wicket has fallen straight away.
Drama straight away after the break. Nokia there rattling the stumps. That ball keeping a little low. He's got pace, so it was quick, kept low, big inside edge, knocking over the stumps, and so This is what South Africa needed, bit of life. And a very good result straight away after the break. Gone for 10, Abid Ali, 22 for 1.
Well, that is a very good start by South Africa straight after the break. Means that the experienced Arslan Ali is striding out now. The second time that a ball has taken a wicket in the first ball of a session. Happened first up this morning and Maharaj was castled, and now the wicket that has just fallen, which has brought the smiling number 3. 84 test matches under his belt, into the middle.
Just got to be a little careful when you're looking to hit the ball hard, because Abid Ali did try his hand off the first ball of a brand new session to go hard through the offside. Ball keeping low and big inside edge, rattling the stumps.
Two slips, two wide slips, spaced. Silly point as well. And a very nice delivery to start, but worked onto the onside. Nokia quite clearly trying to take full toll of those feet not moving too well at the start of an innings, but he's so experienced, he just got it away for one.
First ball after the break. A little wider angle for Abid Ali to deal with. The bat came down at an angle, the ball keeping low as well. Big inside edge, and he was gone. This pitch still demands a lot of care, a lot of attention. You can't really be going hard through the offside of the new ball, and Nokia is quick. Pumped up.
And after that, he was quicker. Always happens. Picked up a wicket. Next ball was quicker than the one before, as it was a little bit of a loosener, I guess, first up after the break. Nicely bowled again.
Hazy, you're talking about the quality of the pitch. Nobody should have an issue. In the last 2 years, 65% matches are done inside 4 days. So, going by that
No.
stats.
No is my answer.
Going by that stats, I think this is a reasonably good surface.
Change of question, right? I thought you were going. Oh, you were going. Yep. No one wants 4-day test match cricket, Rambo. Let's just make that nice and clear. Well,
Absolutely.
that Gabba test might have been interesting if it had been called off over 4 days.
There's a big debate regarding 4-day test match, but I'm with you regarding 5-day test, because, you know, the lesser teams may get away with murder. I mean, you know, and plus the rain factor, bad light, that kind of stuff can stifle the progress. The best team should win in test match in any form of the game. Gone, caught behind. Wayward shot outside the off stump. South Africans are back in it big time. Nokia is rattling Pakistan's confidence. 2 wickets for him right after the start, and it's the newcomer Imran Butt, who's faltered and he's removed from the scene.
A twist, a little twist in this game. That is a big, healthy nick. No problem whatsoever for Quentin de Kock. Celebration started alongside de Kock, and the bowler knew straight away that he'd picked him up, so he's got his second. Goodness me, here we are. 2 quick ones after the break. He's gone for a dozen now, 23 for 2. I have no doubt the team chat from South Africa would have been, right, let's see if we can get a couple of quick ones pretty early and put the skipper, Barbara Azam, under a little bit of pressure, get him out in the middle. He missed out in the first innings. He didn't play in New Zealand due to that fractured thumb. He's a sensational cricketer, this man. It's as simple as that. An absolutely sensational cricketer. But he's going to be in the firing line. Those are the non-strikers in at the moment. And Rabada. Oh, that's found a gap. It's found a gap and there's no one down there to stop it.
So here's a little puzzle for South Africa to solve. Should they have close men round the bat, or should they strengthen the slip cordon against Azhar Ali? The feet usually do not move swiftly up front when you begin the innings. Turn him around. Maybe an extra slip fielder could be useful. Rabada does like to swing that ball away from the stumps.
Two key players in on the leg side. Leg gully in particular, with the ball that might jump a little bit. Down the leg side, what he's trying to do, of course, is bowl at the body. Just try and put Azhar Ali under a bit of pressure at pace.
Not good cricket from Pakistan after the break. This was a wide one. And playing his first ball after the break was Imran Butt. I'd be thoroughly disappointed with that because it worked hard to get where he was. And maybe lapse in concentration.
Oh, that's a beautiful shot. Broad blade, straight down the ground for 4.
You know that he's batting well when he's driving the ball in that fashion. The balance was great. That's an excellent shot to play on a surface like this with a straight bat. The front foot moves into that drive so nicely.
That's not a half volley by any means. 142 k's per hour, was just stroked down the ground. Kept a little bit low, that one. He is so experienced, though, Azhar Ali, that he will know that he just has to make sure that he covers that. He's seen balls keep low. He's seen balls bounce a little bit and wrap on the gloves. But he'll be looking to protect his wicket, so it'll be the thought process in the back of his mind, right, I've got to get forward to this, even though Rabada's a class act and he's bowling quickly. Solid again. Good work from Rabada. Have a look and a listen. Now you've seen quite a bit of him as well, Norkia Rambo. The Pakistan boys are clearly a bit shocked in that viewing area. He's a class act too. It's almost found its way to the gully. Rasi van der Dussen, the finer of the gully, I suppose. End of the over. Interesting stuff. 31 for 2.
For South Africa to make this an interesting tussle, they need to pick up a wicket after every 10-15 runs. Simple as that. So they've got to utilize their best bowlers, and right now with the new ball, it's got to be Nokia and Rabada. Now this should be interesting. He's a bit ring rusty, Babar Azam. He's on strike, marking his guard. Slip in a gully, awaits for an outside edge, shot cover, shot mid-wicket, shot square leg. So they're expecting the ball to jump at him, or at least making him realize that that's going to be the line of attack.
I think here's a real opportunity to lock in. So let's just pick up on what Rambo was saying. So ring rusty, fractured thumb. I mean, fractured thumbs are not fun for starters, and it takes a little bit of time to get that confidence back when you've broken a thumb. You've sat on the sidelines, you've watched your team go down in New Zealand. You haven't had a bat in your hand in a game for a long time. You're up against a couple of blokes who have got their tails up and are bowling quickly, and have got a plan against you and are bowling straight. Let's just have a look at the way he goes about it. Again, I'll repeat it, he's a sensational cricketer. I call him the artist. I used to call Hashim Amla the artist, but he's now retired. He's in the commentary box. I now call Babar Azam the artist.
A lot of stuff to like about Babar Azam. As you say, he's a stylist. He's technically a lot improved batsman in Test match cricket. Now in Test cricket, we know that your temperament is tested. And this is all about your temperament at this stage.
It's good bowling too. Good bowling from Nokia. 144 k's per hour. People probably won't understand this about Nokia, and I know you've had conversations with him as well, but he's just a lovely guy. Henrik Nokia, he's a guy always ready to break into a smile and a bit of a chat. He doesn't look like it now when he's got the ball in his hand, but he's a bloke who loves bowling fast.
So what happens in such a situation if you're batting? Obviously, you're under pressure. So you fall back on good tight defense. Make sure that you don't go hard at the ball. It's about occupying the crease, keeping it simple. And Babar Azam knows the value of his defense. He's got a very solid game plan. Seems to see the ball a little early. Gets into position early as a result.
Doesn't that make you jealous?
Absolutely. I mean, he's a class act.
Gift of one, see it early. Loud scream. I presume that was no.
We were told when we started playing for Pakistan that, you know, calling loudly for yes or a no would take the nervousness out of your system. And also it works for the non-striker as well. If you're clearly saying no, yes, this wait, yes, come, no, can cause a lot of confusion.
There's a yeah, that'll be two. I think I heard through the stump mic. You might have picked it up as well. It is a comfortable two to finish the over. So 10 overs gone. This is exciting stuff. 33 for 2.
A very difficult shot to execute because he stays inside the line of the ball. Generally, I think it became an easier shot for him to execute, but to play with a slanted angle of the bat to a guy who's bowling around 145, 147 clicks is pretty special.
Talk about Babar Azam and how he picks up the ball early, the best pick up the ball early. Now what that does also is allows them to pick up the length of the ball earlier than most. That's why they're so good, these guys, these blokes. We all know them. Those that are the champions, the Virat Kohlis, the Razams, the A.B. de Villiers, Steve Smith, Labuschagne, Labuschagne, whichever way you want to call it. Labuschagne, he's something special as well. Joe Root recently has been amazing. I watched him in Sri Lanka, those test matches, sensational. He's a terrific player, Joe Root. He's going to come back for a couple. You can also mention Kane Williamson. What a star he is, a superstar, Kane Williamson. So there's a whole host of guys around the cricketing globe that you can watch closely, and you'll just see that's the common trend there, or the common trait. They pick up the ball early and therefore pick up the length early and therefore never appear rushed.
That's good solid batting by Azhar Ali. Hasn't looked nervous at all. The balance is well established at the crease. As a senior pro, has got to make sure that there's no nervousness seen through him by the dressing room. He has opened so many times for Pakistan and generally is in early, even at number 3. So why not have him opening the innings for Pakistan? Scored a triple 100 as an opener. Double century at Melbourne as an opener. Too good a record as an opener. Leaves it well alone. 2 down for 35.
KG.
11 overs. .35 for 2. That little challenge again, little head-to-head. A little bit of Inverec solar energy, tic-tac-toe. Still trying to work out how to play this. Yeah, it's a draw, that one. I think I've worked it out. Is it a draw? Perhaps I haven't worked it out. They both got prizes. Oh, that's nicely bowled. Trying to sneak underneath that bat. Disturb that furniture behind him, but good enough to jam down on it. But again, in no way rushed.
Managed it well in the end, but did rush him that fuller length.
Oh, that kept very low indeed. He had to jam down. Nortje can't believe that he did, I think, by the look of that glance.
That is such a good defensive shot, and you can only play that shot if you're keeping an eye on the ball. Excellent bowling by Nokia, once again targeting the stumps and ball keeping low, making sure that he played it with the blade. Back and across. Look at how the bat came from a height to the lower side.
The thing about it really is he's not really going back. I mean, normally he would, but he's not really going back. He's sort of going across more than anything because he's very aware of that ball keeping low, as that one did as well. So you've got no room to go back.
All he has to do is to look to play in that V area through mid-on and mid-off. Forget about working the ball away with his wrist, which is his favorite shot. Such a lovely player off his pads. And you can do that on such pitches, but not when the ball is bouncing up and down.
His sole aim now will be to see Nokia off, Nokia and Rabada off. That'll be what he'll be looking to do, to then see the guys like Ngidi come into the attack and perhaps a spin of Maharaj. Or maybe there's a little bit more swing around of the quicks. That's probably how they should be operating a bit, but let's see what Quinton de Kock decides to do. He's certainly got his work cut out at the moment.
The other thing that he's doing extremely well is playing the ball late with his bat close to his body, his front pad. When you're a little nervous, when you feel that you're being threatened, you go hard at the ball, and so far the indications are very good from Babar Azam. Soft hands, playing the ball late, looking to play it as straight as possible, making sure that you take care of the low bounce.
Another very fascinating over. 12 gone, 35 for 2. There's no concern about runs at this stage. It's all about making sure that they blunt this seam attack. South Africa, of course, looking to make inroads, pick up another wicket. Rabada will keep running in, he won't mind. He's full of pride, this man. He'll keep running in and bowling as best as he possibly can, and it's a thinking ball. That's a great thing also about Rabada.
South Africa ideally would like to make it tough for Pakistan to go over the line, so that there's some reference points come the next match. Some silver lining in a losing cause. That is what they're fighting for. So they're mentally not extremely down come the second test match. And these two test match series can be pretty tricky. Your first test means a great deal, because if you lose the first test match in a two test match series, then you're almost done. So this was an important contest for South Africa. They're looking for something to take back home to Rawalpindi. Some good reference points. Maybe pick another couple of wickets, 2-3 wickets, so they only lost by 4 wickets or 5 wickets. Make it a good positive talking point as a group.
Well, I think it's very important. They can happen to pick up maybe a couple now, then suddenly things look a little bit different as far as Pakistan's concerned. Oh, that's a good positive shot. That's a really good shot off the back foot. Lots of time to play that. Wasn't the slowest delivery, but he's clearly in some good nick.
Nothing preemptive from Azhar Ali and from Babar Azam as well. They're just looking at the ball, picking up the length and working away. Not over analyzing the situation or the pitch or the quality of the bowlers. It's about looking hard at the ball and making sure that you get behind the line and be safe and get Pakistan over the line.
bowled 4 overs before the break, Rabada. It was that long break of an hour. So he's now into about to finish his 3rd after the break. Extra bounce, but comfortably played. A bit of a stare, actually, a bit of a glare between the two, bowler and the batsman. 13 gone, 37 for 2. Centurion to come in next. I had a fascinating chat actually with Fawad Alam this morning before the start of play.
Regarding his stance?
That's kept low. Yes, it was regarding his stance, and you guys after play yesterday, you and Wazim were talking about his stance and illustrating a couple of things, which was interesting. But I wanted to know from him how he got to that stage. How did Fawad Alam get to that stage where he was so open on the extra movements and that sort of stuff? And he said to me that it was something that just sort of evolved, and he said he always knew his stance was a little bit different and he knew it was square on. But he said he played a lot of first-class cricket around the place in Pakistan, a lot of games in Pakistan, obviously not playing international cricket. Oh, that's superbly worked. That's just whipped away with disdain, really. That timing is exceptional. So he said he realised he was making some excessive movements, some extra movements, and he realised that he was setting up sort of face on a little bit. But he had no idea he was that face on, and a square on, I should say. And he said that it eventually actually got more and more square on as he went, and he kept scoring runs. And when he saw himself on TV, on video somewhere, he said he got the shock of his life, really. He didn't realise he'd actually got that square on. So he thought he was about half where he was, but because he was performing and getting runs, that it just naturally evolved like that. And I think if we all do something successfully and we do it differently, then you tend to adapt with that anyway. So that tells the story. It's quite interesting, I think.
While doing the demonstration, I felt dizzy from front on to a side on.
I wasn't in the bubble. He was in the bubble, of course, this morning before the start of play. So we were having a bit of a shouting match from a distance, socially.
Thanks for clearing that up.
Yes. But he was more than happy to chat about it. It was great for him to tell me the story. In fact, he was getting the whistle from his teammates to come and do the warm-ups, and he was still happy to have a chat. So it was nice to hear from him. But I equated the story, actually, and he got a chuckle out of this because he remembered watching this play I'm about to talk about when he was growing up as a young kid. I equated the story to Paul Adams. We all remember Paul Adams and that really unique action he had when he was bowling. Paul Adams thought he had an absolute standard bowling action. He had no idea he bowled like that. Paul Adams said that he used to sort of get a little bit annoyed that there were guys that were watching him bowl in the nets and they just stand and watch him in the nets. And
Paul
maybe
Adams
some
thought
would
he had
pass comments and that sort of stuff to their mates. Standard bowling action. One day his brother, he had no idea he bowled like that. Videoed him. And he said when he saw him bowl for the first time, he was just utterly, he used to sort of utterly shocked that he had that action.
Good that he didn't bowl to Viv Richards.
Dead right.
Absolutely, that straight drive would have done a fair bit of damage.
It was the wrong term I used.
What was his action compared to? Frog in a blender?
And I think that was Mike Gatting who started that one. Box down. 40 for 2.
Just a countdown now. 48 needed. Azhar and Babar, I think maybe have just stemmed that little bit of a storm with the faster men. Pakistan well on their way. Babar Azam, well, he'll want to be there at the end. Didn't have a great game with the bat, but as a captain, he's done extremely well to notch up. Probably is, well, in all, if all goes to plan, or if there's no major drama, Babar Azam will notch up his first victory as captain, but he'll want to get some runs as well. Obviously, every batsman wants to get runs, but he'll want to be there at the end to celebrate.
He has been out of action in New Zealand. He got injured there. So, big day for the skipper. And obviously, winning will be icing on the cake, I suppose. First test match against the South Africans. 40 for 2 Pakistan. Azhar Ali is looking good, solid. It's not an easy pitch, fourth day, especially with the fast bowlers, quick fast bowlers, unevenness both ends now.
And the matchup again, and this will play on Rabada's mind and Babar's. Turned away beautifully, just rides the bounce and comfortably into the onside, and such is the timing that it gets to the fence.
What a shot from Babar Azam on this wicket. Just roll off the wrist. Timing was beautiful. No effort, just sheer timing. Have a look at this shot. The last minute, that flick of the wrist in the middle of the bat. That's the beauty of Babar Azam's batting. You make batting look so easy, beautiful. It's a good bat. .44 more runs required by Pakistan to win this first test match against South Africa. The skipper is on 9. Azhar Ali is looking good, experienced cricketer, ex-Pakistani captain. 15 first innings.
.44 for 2. Session 2, Pakistan is easing their way. Just wanted to ask you this, Wasim. I know that you're an advocate for the captain getting better as he gets more experience. Babar Azam first game as captain. How would you sort of, obviously they won the game, but at all were you impressed, or was there some signs of concern in his captaincy?
I don't think so. I think he's done a great job. Obviously, first time, he's on the field as a skipper. Second inning, the decisions are much better. Bowling changes are much better. Again, good shot. With straight bat from Azhar Ali. Definitely got a bright future, Babar Azam, as a skipper. That's for sure. He's young. He's 25, 26 years of age, Babar Azam. And especially today, the way he handled his bowlers, he given short bursts to fast bowlers from one end and then spinner from the other end. Yasir started, then Numan came back, so that's really was a good sign.
I remember, well, maybe I'm wrong, but I remember sort of an interview from yourself where you said after you'd done a lot of captaincy in terms of being captain of Pakistan, you thought you were much better captain, and towards the end you were probably the best captain that you yourself could be.
Yeah, I think I learned the hard way, I suppose, captaining the side. It wasn't an easy task. That's Babar Azam at his best. What a shot from Babar Azam. Sheer timing. Another boundary from the skipper. 39 runs required now.
Captaincy might not be easy, but have a look at the ease which his balance always spot on, but he makes it look so simple.
Every time he plays that shot towards covers drive, towards covers, he finds a gap. That's the quality of his batting, Babar Azam's. Down leg side, inside edge, will ball race away to the boundary. 2 and 2.
Yeah, feed him outside off stump and he'll punch you through the covers, and then you try and rectify that by bowling straight, but he's got the ability on the leg side as well, albeit a little inside edge, but it was down the leg side and helped on its way. .35 now to win. Just 35 more runs to win. It's been quite a performance by Pakistan. The comeback in that first innings after losing first 4 wickets very cheaply, and then the performance of Noman Ali in the second innings, 5 for 35, been the better team throughout.
I think after seeing this test match for 3.5 days, now you realize how important was Fawad Alam's innings on this pitch against this bowling. And that too under pressure. He came out to bat when Pakistan were 27 for 4. And Giri.
Turned into the leg side. It might just be tracked down, but enough opportunity to get back for 3.
Good effort by Nokia. 32 runs required to win this first test match of Pakistan. And I think this win, or this test match obviously, will give them a lot of confidence as a unit, belief.
Brighto fan of the match, play the Brighto fan of the match contest and win a sign ball. The sign ball is from the man of the match. Who would it be?
There are some very good performances. You talk about Numan, you talk about Yasir Shah, but if you see the 3.5 days, the way wicket has behaved and behaving, for me, definitely Fawad Alam is the front runner. Because the way he batted under pressure when wickets were down, chips were down, he came, he stuck in there. His defense was solid. What do you think, Raz?
Can't argue with you.
You can
It's
actually.
possible. It's possible. No, I think you've got it spot on. I think Fawad Alam. That's a quality shot. He stood up and just punched it through the offside. Forte wicket, doesn't matter.
21, Babar Azam, and best of the lot. Timing, the balance, the weight shift, everything was spot on. Back of a length delivery too. Put it on the up and again into the gap through extra cover. That's what he's really good at.
And the other positive for Pakistan is that their best batsman Babar Azam hasn't, well, he didn't get a run in the first innings, so there's still that aspect to come. And we've seen today as well the way that he bats. It's not very often that he doesn't get runs.
And even coach is smiling. You see, that's always a good sign.
Very rare. Coach smiling. $60 for 2. Test batting rankings, Babar Azam number 6, but he's a 3-format player. Kane Williamson right on top. Joe Root, after getting a double 100 and a massive 100, 180, climbed up to number 5. But yeah, you can't keep Babar Azam down for long.
They can't. On top of the ladder, Kane Williamson, Steve Smith, Lavashan, Virat Kohli, Joe Root and Babar Azam at number 6 now. Change of bowling from the University Road end. Linda will take the ball. George Linda. 4 wickets so far in his second test match. Ideal conditions for a spinner to bowl, actually. Misfield, fumble and a single. Maybe 2. So that's what happens. A little partnership can give you a kind of a negative body language. You can see everybody's very quiet now. The shoulders kind of down, waiting for it to happen. Only 26 runs required by Pakistan.
I had this discussion earlier with Daryl on comms. Interesting part of this test match is that Pakistan have outfielded South Africa, which you can't say very often. And the other factor is that Pakistan's lower order has contributed so much more than South Africa's lower order. And those two things that South Africa are known for.
Fielder is there, straight to the fielder. Rabada, backward point. Yeah, they ticked every box in this test match, Pakistanis. They fought back well when they were 30, 27 for 4. You know, Fawad Alam got 100, then Azhar. got 50. Then
Fielder
Fahim
is there,
came at
straight
number
to the fielder,
7, number
Ravana,
6. He got
backward
52,
point.
60 odd.
Yeah, they ticked every box in this test match, Pakistanis. They fought back well when they were 30, 27 for 4. You know, Fawad Alam got
Obviously, the
100.
most exciting thing was the way they fielded
Azhar
him. That's
50.
That's
Fielder is
also
there, straight to the fielder,
positive
Ravana,
sign
got
for
backward
Pakistan
point.
cricket and the series ahead.
Yeah, they ticked every box in this test match, Pakistanis. They fought back well when they were 30, 27 for 4.
Yeah, a couple of runouts in that
You know,
first South
Fawad
African
Alam got
batting innings.
most exciting thing was the way they
Azhar,
fielded.
that's also wrong, but taken 3 catches, 3 quality catches. Abid Ali, who took 3 quality catches in the second innings. So, a couple of runouts in that, really good in the field. 62 for 2. Just resting that hand, lots of bruising, but thankfully no fracture. So, in all intents and purposes, he'll be available for that next test match in Rawalpindi. They need all the batsmen they can get, and he's their premier batsman. In terms of even this test match, he looked really good in that first innings. And only after that blow to the hand in the second innings that he, well, lost his rhythm. Time for a brew. It was already calm, Pakistan just easing towards their target, so no stress at all.
It's the weather for this team, isn't it? Crispy in the morning, a little warm in the afternoon, then pleasant in the evening. Perfect weather here in Karachi.
Well, they say you can't improve on perfection, but you're going to Islamabad next, so weather will be even better.
It'll be freezing. I live in Karachi now, come on.
No chance. Be beautiful.
It'll be beautiful, no doubt.
When you go at 5 a.m. for your jog, you'll need a couple of jumpers. That's
Yeah, I'm
it.
taking my beanie as well and my bomber jacket. Definitely.
And then at night when you sit out, have your cup of coffee or tea, you'll need that again.
Another beautiful city of Pakistan, Islamabad, capital. Wade checked his shot. He was thinking to go towards square leg, and then he checked his shot at the last second. That's good thinking. Experience. One of the most experienced batsmen in Pakistani squad, Azhar Ali, the ex-skipper. That's an interesting stat. 65% of the matches are done within 4 days in the last 2 years. Probably it's got to do with shorter formats of the game, maybe, different thinking nowadays. All the players, they go for runs instead of defense. Defense used to be an art. I remember, if I have to think back on mind straight away, you think of Sunil Gavaskar, you think of Hanif Mohammed, you think of Shoaib Mohammed, in fact, who could bat all day. drinks break.
So 23 more runs required for Pakistan's two-match series. And Kalfala presents Babar Azam obviously ruling the roost in terms of his side being better throughout the test match. It had a lot of twists and turns, but Pakistan